Da, 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 this is my review of Jurassic World. There's gonna be some spoilers, so if you don't want the movie to be spoiled by me, you should go see it first and then come watch this review, unless you don't care and you just want to see this and you've already seen it. Okay. This is my severely late review of Jurassic World. I actually went to see it on the 12th, Friday night, opening night, and it was pretty packed. Went to go see it with my brother and sister and my friend Todd and Aletta for my, I guess, bachelor party. We didn't get real crazy. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to the movies. Woo, bachelor party. Because now I am officially a married man. So, I mean, I've just been, you know, working and enjoying married life. And I will finally give you my review of Jurassic World. I thought this was a very amazing film, very awesome. I felt that it was we finally got a worthy sequel to the first film, the 1993 classic, Jurassic Park. And, yeah, I think it actually was able to capture some of that magic from the first film. Especially when they would play the Jurassic Park theme song. That was like, you know, it got me really nostalgic. And I was like, yeah, Jurassic Park is back. You know, even though it's Jurassic World. But yeah, it was a great film. And it was just crazy to see John Hammond's dream come alive. Jurassic World, you know, his dream of what he wanted to happen, you know, a fully functioning theme park, you know, and it was just cool. Like, it was so weird that, like, these kids are going and the parents are like, if something chases you, run. I'm like, bitch, you don't know how right you are. I think I got a little bit of a chuckle, you know, in the theaters, you know, or at least people were looking at each other like, you know, smirking. Yeah, it was a really awesome movie. The human characters were really good for the most part. Not as good as the first one, but they were good. Chris Pratt was, you know, great as always, you know, Star-Lord. But, you know, he changed it up a little bit, you know. It's not exactly Star-Lord, but, I mean, you know, still got Chris Pratt's awesomeness. And Bryce Dallas Howard was good. I liked her more at the end than I did, you know, in the middle and the beginning of the film. I didn't really care for her that much. And Vincent D'Onofrio was cool, even though his idea was crazy. He wants to, like, weaponize the raptors because he sees that Chris Pratt can control them. And he's like, it's not about control, it's about, you know, respect and the relationship and all that stuff. But, you know, he's, Vincent D'Onofrio's like the, you know, big, you know, military guy that works for Engine and stuff. So he wants to, you know, make weapons and stuff like all bad guys do. And even though he's, well, kind of a bad guy, not like full-on bad guy, but anyways, the two kids were okay. They weren't like, you know, they weren't Lex and Tim, you know, not that Lex and Tim were all that great, but I mean, I mean, they were good. They're good. I mean, they're kids, you know, so I mean, they are what they are. The Indominus Rex was crazy. I like how they were kind of hiding it, you know, they weren't showing it straight off. And then how it camouflaged itself and hide its heat signature, that was just crazy, and it was just huge. It could grab you with its hands. And, you know, had a huge mouth and eat you. That thing was crazy. And then the training with the raptors and Chris Pratt, that was cool too. Especially when he has to save that dumb kid that, like, falls down because he's, like, feeding the raptors a pig or something. And he falls in there and Chris Pratt has to save his ass. And but it was really cool, the relationship with Chris Pratt and the Raptors. I really felt that there was a connection there, that they had respect for him and he had respect for them. He had respect for them and they have respect for him. And you could really kind of feel that. You could feel that, you know, by watching the movie and seeing them together. And what else? Let's see, what else? The Mosasaurus, the big sea monster type dinosaur. That thing was crazy. That thing was like a scene stealer, especially at the end. Let's see. let's see what else happens. And then they go hunt the, okay, so they go out there to hunt the Indominus Rex, but they send a bunch of guys out there with non-lethal weapons. It's like, so, these guys are all gonna die. Like, these guys are dead. And then they had the guy that was playing the new Shredder, I forget what his name is, Brian T, I think his name is. I'm not exactly sure. They had him in there, and he didn't last very long. He was like the main hunter guy, kind of the main hunter guy, but he didn't have any words, didn't have any lines. But you like, oh, it's Brian T. He's Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and he's gonna be the new Shredder. Oh, he didn't last very long in this movie. All right, woo. But then like they started getting serious about hunting it, and they want to use the Raptors. And Chris Pratt's on the motorcycle, and the Raptors all running beside him with the little cameras on their heads. And they're trying to find the Indominus Rex, and then they find it, and then like the Indominus Rex like talks to them, and they're talking to him, and it turns out because Chris Pratt was wondering like, what did you put in the Indominus Rex? Like nobody would say what was in the Indominus Rex, like what was in her genes and stuff, like what they made her from, and it turns out that she has raptor blood in her, like raptors in her DNA. And they're like, oh crap, so she like talks to the Raptors, and the Raptors like, okay, you can be our leader now. Screw Chris Pratt. And they turn around and they all look at everybody else, they're like, oh crap, and they like run, they start eating people and stuff. And start chasing Bryce Dallas Howard and the kids and the ambulance and stuff. That was crazy. And then the ending was awesome, where they were like running away from the Raptors, and then Vincent D'Onofrio was like going in there, and he's trying to get away with like all the stuff, and the Raptor shows up while he's talking to Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and a Raptor shows up, and he's like, good boy, good girl, we're on the same side, we want the same thing. And he like reaches, he's like extending his hand out right in front of the Raptor. Like, why would you do that? Even if it's still a predatory, even if a lion is tame, it still wants to eat meat and stuff like that. Could still chomp your hand off at any second, and so it does. And he's like, ah! You don't really see anything, and there's like blood like on the glass there. So he's dead. And then the Raptors are chasing him, and it's kind of like reminiscent of the ending of the first film, where the Raptors are chasing him around the visitor center, except for it's in the new visitor center. And then the Indominus Rex shows up, and I can't remember. It's been like a week now or something. But I think the Raptors kind of turn on the Indominus Rex because they, remember that they have that connection with Chris Pratt, and so they start fighting the Indominus Rex. But he kills a lot of them he kills all of them except for the Beta, her name is Blue. And then like the Indominus Rex they lose the Indominus Rex for a second, and then Blue is still, I don't know why they start fighting, but the other Raptors die. Or the other Raptors get killed somewhere. I can't remember. I'm sorry, it's a bad review. I can't remember why the other Raptors are gone, but they're dead. And there's only Blue left. And she catches up with them, and she's going to eat them. And then they reestablish that connection between Chris Pratt. He like looks at her, and she looks at him, and she's like, oh, I remember you were there when I hatched out of my egg, and we have that connection and that bond, so I will be on your side now. And then the Indominus Rex shows up, and they're running away, and everybody's running away, and Bryce Dallas Howard's like, I have an idea, and she grabs a flare, and when she grabbed that flare, I knew that she was going to get the T-Rex, which is the T-Rex from the very first film. It's the same T-Rex. Because if you see, like, there's like these scars like down her neck, and that's from the Raptor fight at the end of the first film. But anyways, she runs to the T-Rex, paddock, or whatever you want to call it, and she lights the flare, and the T-Rex comes out, and it's like so awesome, and she's running in high heels, and she's like awesome runner in high heels, and it's chasing her. And then the Indominus Rex and the T-Rex start fighting, and like the T-Rex starts losing a little bit, and I was like, no, not a repeat of Jurassic Park 3 where the Spinosaurus killed the T-Rex in like 5 seconds. No, please, I want the T-Rex to win. Because as badass as the Indominus Rex was, I still wanted the T-Rex to win and kill it. So I was rooting for the T-Rex. I was like, come on, T-Rex. And the T-Rex starts winning again. and gets a little help from the raptor, from Blue, and they start fighting it together, and they push it towards the water. So I kind of already was like, well, what's going to happen there? They're going to push it in the water, and then the Mosasaurus is going to get it? Or is the Mosasaurus going to... Because they talked about how the Mosasaurus will jump up, it will breach the surface to get prey, or you know, food that's like up there, because that's why it jumped out and got the shark when they were feeding it. And so it jumps out of the water, it gets the Indominus Rex, drags it into the water, eats it, and then the T-Rex and the Velociraptor kind of look at each other, and they're like, respect, man. And they kind of go their separate ways, and then, you know, the humans are safe again. And T-Rex is like, I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to eat these humans. I guess maybe they were staying still the whole time. They're like, he won't see us. Let's wait till he walks away. Okay, so the T-Rex goes off, and it's awesome. The ending is awesome with the T-Rex. The T-Rex, like, walks onto the helicopter pad. Oh, side note, way back in the beginning of the film, not the beginning of the film, but when they go to start to hunt the Indominus Rex with the minigun on the helicopter, and they're like, and they got the one guy that, like, just started getting helicopter lessons. He's like the businessman. He's like the guy that's funding everything. He's kind of like the poor man's John Hammond, because he's not like, you know, he's not as cool as John Hammond, or not as cool as John Hammond to me. Like, he doesn't really, but he's like the rich guy, you know, funding everything. And he like barely knows how to fly a helicopter, and they're like, do we have anybody that can fly a helicopter for this mission? And he's like, me. And then like stuff starts happening, like I think some of the pterodactyls and stuff get loose and like mess up the helicopter, and they're like shooting at the pterodactyls, and he's trying to stay flying in the air, and he crashes and blows up and he dies, and it's like, okay, well, that was a bad idea. But I mean, anyways, the T-Rex at the end goes onto that helicopter pad, and he's, you know, she's just there all alone, finally king of her domain once again, because there's no more big bad, you know, genetically engineered Indominus Rex. Just the T-Rex, you know, king dinosaur, or queen dinosaur in this case, and she roars, or roar, you know, the T-Rex roar, and, you know, that's the end of the film. But I mean, it's an amazing film. Definitely my second favorite Jurassic Park film, you know, after the first one. And then it would be Lost World, and then you're not even going to put Jurassic Park 3 on that list. But I mean, it's definitely awesome, definitely worth checking out and seeing, and I'm definitely going to buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out. And yeah, definitely go see it, and hope you guys enjoyed this review. And I will talk to you guys later, and stay tuned for more videos, hopefully. Peace. Peace, bye.